Hey everyone, welcome to Carrie's Garage. On this episode, we're still working on the old Sunbug. Show you some of the progress, and then we're gonna dig into that carburetor and see if we can get it cleaned up and put back together. So I buttoned up a few things without filming it on the engine because I just wanted to get it kind of taken care of. I'm gonna have some friends come over here soon and help me take it off the workbench, but it's pretty much all together. It's together enough to be able to put back in the car. Just have a couple of things to wrap up, and I need to get a couple of pieces of tin that I'm missing, but I can always put it in after it's in the car. So that's pretty good. And then we have a box of taking apart carburetor, and I got a rebuild kit. So let's go ahead and dig into it and see if we can make it look better and actually work. All right, we'll get all the parts laid out, do a little bit of inventory, and then start cleaning. So we got the main body of the carburetor, the top, the choke, and if I remember right, we're missing the choke hold down, but we can figure that out later. Cover for the accelerator pump, float, idle air, I forget what that jet's called, idle screw, more circuits, accelerator pump, spring, choke pull-off cover, old gaskets, old choke pull-off, old accelerator pump, various fasteners, idle shut-off solenoid, alright, we'll just make sure everything's accounted for. So we should have 4 screws for the accelerator pump cover, 3 screws for the choke pull-off, and they are different sizes. So the 3 shorter ones are for this guy, and the 4 longer ones, or scratch that. 4 short ones are for this, the 3 longer ones are for that. That's what it is. Alright, cool. So everything is here. Let's take a look at what we got in the kit. A variety of different cover gaskets. We'll figure out which one we need. Well, I mean, we've got the old one, so we can always compare. So this one's missing a hole, that's not it. This one lines up perfectly, so this is the one we need. I'll put these 3 just in there for now. You got some new screws, washers, O-rings, needle and seat. Accelerator pump cover gasket. New accelerator pump, new choke pull-off, and a new base gasket. Which, memory serves right, it's the bigger one, which it is. Alright, throw all that away. parts aside for now. And really, we just need to start cleaning it up. Get all the dirt and grime in there. Make sure all the passageways are nice and clear. Go ahead and get this old needle and seat off. Alright, let's grab a brush, something to spray into, and start cleaning it off. Got a brass brush, kind of a bottle cleaner. I like to be able to use it to clean out some spots. So one thing to always pay attention to on Volkswagen carburetors is this nipple right here. They love to come out of the body and then it'll just start spraying gas everywhere and catch your car on fire. So if these are ever loose, I always take them out, take a file, knock up some edges and put some JB weld on there and keep it from coming out. I've done that many a times over the years. I've also seen people with the hose clamp, when they have it on here, take a safety wire and connect it to here so it won't come out. It's a good safety idea. So pretty much we just want to clean everything up. If these screws cooperate, I might just take this whole shaft out so I can clean the shaft as well, just to make sure that it operates perfectly. But those like to break, so we shall see. And then what we'll also do is fire up the air compressor and blow air in any of the passageways to make sure they're properly clean and move air correctly so it will function. So let's see if we can break these screws loose, and if we can't, we won't mess with them because I do not want to break them. See if I can get a slightly different screwdriver. So it looks like we are in luck with the choke plate. These screws seem to want to be turning, so we'll see if we can fully extract them. And then we'll just pull the whole shaft out and just give it a little bit of a shine up and make sure that it actuates correctly. So now we can pull the plate out for the choke. Just need to loosen this nut. You get a wrench for that. Like I say, primarily the reason why I want to do this is just to make sure that the shaft is nice and clean and actuates correctly. There are two small washers on the shaft, so we got to make sure that those don't disappear. As you can tell, the shaft is pretty gross, so we'll go ahead and get it nice and clean. And go ahead and clean up the passageway for it as well. Because one thing you definitely do not want is a sticking choke. it makes for one heck of an annoying time. One thing we always want to look out for, don't see this much on the chokes as you do on the throttle shafts, but they'll start to wear out and get a little sloppy. These aren't that big of a deal because you're not really worried about air leaks. On the throttle shaft, if it's worn out and the shaft can move a little bit, you'll get an air leak there and it'll cause you a world of really annoyance trying to tune it. See, just like that, so much nicer. Now that shaft and plate is out, we can go ahead and clean here a bit more. Might not look the prettiest, but it will definitely work. Just a very tiny amount of grease. And we can't forget the little washers, which are kind of a bear. So go ahead and put that one in. And make sure to flick it out so you lose it. Go and take the second one, put that one on as well. There we go. It's so much better. It was a little crunchy before, that's why I was worried about it. So, now that is good. Go ahead and get the washers to either side, and we will put the plate back in after we clean it up. Just like that. That is indexed correctly for the pull-off. So now what we'll do is, before we put anything else together, we'll just get the screws in, which are a total bear. Just get that one started, get the other one in. We'll make sure that the plate is perfectly centered so it doesn't bind. Perfect operation. And we just got to make sure to put this guy back in, which is keyed. Just like that. Choke is good. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the compressor and clean this guy off a bit, and then we'll be back and start cleaning up the base, the main body of the carburetor. So we got this cleaned up a bit. I'll go ahead and spray it down and start scrubbing it. There is a little bit of corrosion on the back of these screws on this plate. Some moisture had gotten into the engine. That's why I had to put new pistons and cylinders in it. And the likeliness of getting these screws out is probably not going to happen. So I'll clean it up as best as I can. I would like to get it out, but don't really see that happening, unfortunately. So I'm actually going to do with this one is get out my Dremel with a small wire brush and try and get it in there. So we did get that cleaned up quite a bit nicer. I did just realize I didn't pull the main jet out. So let me see if I can get that out. So here's our main jet. Looks pretty clear. So another thing we can do too is run some carb cleaner through any of the orifices that are open, make sure that it flows fairly well, and then I'll blow air through them. Alright, let's see if we can't give it just one more go around and try and get these screws out. I would really like to, but yep, those do not want to budge. Thankfully, this carburetor is very tight. I think I put this one on there several years ago. I really don't remember, but so I'm going to go blow some air through these orifices. Kind of same thing with this. Make sure everything is nice and clear. Make sure to spray yourself a few times while you do it. You know, it's always good. Alright, go ahead and blow it out and then we can start putting it back together. Alright, everything's been blown through. Everything's clear. Same with all your jets and air correction valves and whatnot. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is just start reassembling it. Put the accelerator, pump, jet arm, and what I always like to do is just make sure it's fairly centered so when you hit the accelerator pump it just sprays right down, doesn't hit the body or anything. Pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and put the float in. float retainer. New gasket, all the holes line up. Let's go ahead and start the screws to hold it down. Go ahead and put the spring back in place. Perfect. Go ahead and actuate the choke. Excellent. So like I say, for some reason, really the only thing I appear to be missing is the retainer that goes around the choke heating element. So, and you see if I have one on a parts carburetor, or if I can source one. I'll come up with that here soon. Not critical right now to get it going. Other than that, a couple of vacuum plugs. You can get a big wrench to snug that guy down. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this guy. I'm not going to permanently mount it right now because I'm going to keep it off when I put the engine in, but let's put it there for now. Just like that, with a little bit of time and patience, got everything nice and cleaned up, new seals, got the carburetor cleaned up, so at least will function now. It's not filled with dirt. I don't have it permanently mounted. I'm going to take it off when I put the engine in, and then once the engine's in, I'll permanently bolt it down and get it all hooked up. But for now, like I say, I need to get the retainer that goes around the choke, but it's pretty good. It's ready to go in. Well, that'll wrap it up for the carburetor cleanup / rebuild on the Sunbug engine. I'm going to get it off the stand hopefully today, and then we'll start getting it in the car, and we're making some progress. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be running here soon. So thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it, and see you guys next time.